the road trip to your destination is only half of it. You still got to make it home. So once we get home, we're gonna see what happens, because I've still got 835 miles to go back to the house. So let's get back to the house and see what happens.
Well, we made it home, so let's see how many miles we did. We did 1,796.2.
So now that we're home, I guess we'll get some sleep tonight, and tomorrow we'll start cleaning this thing up after the road trip, and I'll show you what to look for after a trip.
So we're off to Walmart. Got to get some oil and whatnot. We're going to give the car an oil change as we go over it. So, you know, that's one of those things you do after a road trip. So let's go get some oil. Now, the first thing I always do when I come home from a road trip is give the car just a decent visual inspection. Just to see if anything broke, anything fell off, or anything like that. A good rule of thumb is if your car doesn't generally leak or you're not sure, just park it in a clean spot, let it sit overnight, and in the next morning, just go out and take a look. If there's spots underneath, you got a leak. And that's not uncommon when you take an old beater like this and drive 1,800 miles with it. So just have food for thought. So let's go walk around and I'll show you what I found, and then I'll show you some of the stuff that actually broke on the trip. First place how we start is on the back, because that's where all the air comes back. See this? This is a little bit of road grime and all that. So there's no really oil or anything back here. If the car was leaking, your first indication of it back here. Now I did notice some buffering and some vibration, and that's because this came loose. And I'll show you on the other one what happened. This one is upside down, but basically these things here came loose and allowed it to flex a little bit, so we'll have to fix that. Now I've been checking the tires. The tires look good. I had a little bit of a vibration coming from in the back, but I haven't found anything yet. So I haven't found anything, but that's just something you keep an eye on, because it might present itself a little later. Had a little bit of a vibration, but it could have also been the rear bumper flapping. When it comes from the back of the car, sometimes it's a little difficult, so just something to keep an eye on. As you know, the window quit working, but it started working again, so I think it was just stuck. Got halfway through my trip and started working, but if you sit there and watch it go up and down, you can hear a little bit of slack. That little bit of slack could be a number of things, but the window really doesn't tilt back and forth, so I don't think it's in the gearing or it's in the track. I think it's in the actual window motor gear, but we'll have to tear that apart to find out. Those gears are really easy to replace, but I've got several doors back here with good motors in them, so if I got to replace the motor, it won't be a problem. There's quite literally no wetness anywhere here. Didn't seem to use anything. So yeah, there's no wetness around the valve covers or anything like that, and the oil's probably still looking, well, I did just fire it up, so, but yeah, it's in good shape. So we'll so after you give it your overall physical inspection, it's time to clean it out, and this car got a little messy. The interior's kind of dirty, so we'll need to go vacuum all this out, and I've got that, plus, you know, all the usual trash and whatnot that accumulates in the back seat, and all my stuff from the trunk, so we got to clean all this out. Just pull it up next to a dumpster and start shaking it. That's better. So before we go and get the car all cleaned up, we're going to change the oil and the air filter. Got a new air filter, got me a Motorcraft oil filter and got some Motorcraft oil. Now, it does take 6 quarts, so you get yourself a 5-quart jug, you're gonna need another quart. Just something, you know, for some reason this thing is a 6-quart capacity. Well, yeah, it's a 6-quarter. Just slide your oil tray under there and you can see the filter right under it. It's a little drip tray to where it collects the oil and funnels it. Just put your pan under that. The nice thing is if the engine's cool, you can actually get to it from the top. Just reach down under here, you can't see it, and it'll just spin right off from the top side. And 30 seconds later, it's on. Yeah. Yeah, it was let's get that undone here. It's got a rubber gasket on it. Usually the old cars had those copper washers. This has got, feels like it's got rubber. Ooh, there she goes. Well, we're looking at the oil, and the oil looks decent, so let's put in the new oil. Get this new oil put in. Yeah, it sealed up good. I'm glad they did. It was flopping around in the back of the car pretty good. So, make sure we don't spill any. We'll put these 5 quarts in, and then we'll check the dipstick and drop the 6-quart in. Before we start it up, I want to put a new air cleaner on it. This is a Fram Ford 5056. So it's the Ultra. It's the only one they had. But we're going to change that out, and then when we get in, we'll fire it up and make sure nothing's leaking. These are all really easy. These things just pop off, and the air cleaner's underneath here. So, well, they're supposed to be easy. What's holding? Oh, I see. All right, yeah. It just comes right out. And there you are. Wow, that still looks good. Let's check the other side. Wow, that actually still looks brand new. So, knock some of the dirt out. You know what? I got a brand new one. I'll go ahead and just replace it. Really doesn't need it, but hey, just a few bucks. For as cheap as those air filters are, there's no point in trying to run it all out. I mean, for $6, who cares? It looks new, but it's still got some dirt on the bottom side. Go ahead and change it. You got a new one. I mean, $6. Might as well. So we've got the new oil in. We've got the new air cleaner in. Let's fire it up and see what happens. Oh, that sounded good. Now let's check it for leaks. All right, nothing here. And nothing appears to be leaking here. Let's get all cleaned up and head to the car wash. Got to do something with this first. Make sure you take care of it responsibly. That's why I save all the old jugs and I recycle the oil. Well, we're here at the truck wash. We'll see what $5 will get me. Work you. Oh. Yay. The only thing I don't like about this car wash is it doesn't have an accumulator on it or a little screen to tell you how much time you have left. So you just figure out where you want it. Put the pre-soak on and drop 7 in and get with it. Start with the pre-soak. Seems like something hit me right there, so I got a cracked lens. I'll have to find a new one. I got a cracked windshield too. That's why you wash your car. Got a crack right there. You can kind of see it. Now we have to But I don't do the foam brush. We do the soap. And as per usual, I ran out of quarters, so I guess I need more quarters. I didn't run actually out of quarters, I ran out of time because there's no clock or anything. So another $1.75 and we'll see how far this gets me. Make sure when you're washing your car, you always get in the wheel wells, especially on these Crown Vics right up front. There's a little, where the body line meets, there's a little spot that just seems like it just catches dirts, rocks, muds, you know, more than so. And if you're going to have rust on these, it's going to start right here. Likewise on the front, if you're going to have rust, it's going to start right here. So you need to make sure that you clean under here too. These will rust out, and the problem is that there's two pieces. And I'll show you on the other fender when we get home that if you're going to have rust, it's going to be right here on the front, and it'll spread like crazy. These vacuums suck. I'm going to have to get a better one eventually. They will get the loose stuff though. I guess we'll have to be happy with that for now. Well, we got it all cleaned up. You know, back seats and whatnot. So, let's get back to the house. I'm going to do some final clean on the plastic and maybe clean the windows, and we'll be done from there. So we're back at the house. Let me show you what I was talking about with that rust. This right here. I got two fenders and they're both like that. This one's the worst. But you got to be careful about shoddy body work when it comes to this, because let me show you what the other side looks like. Believe it or not, this is two pieces. And if somebody just bondos it in, it's going to be horrible. So you got the inner and the outer. And so you really got to keep this clean just to make sure that you don't get this happening to your Crown Vic. So as I stand here in this mess known as my garage, a few takeaways from this trip. Car did flawlessly. Had a few little bumps here and there. One thing I wish I could have caught it came back, was the instrument cluster went out. These Crown Vics are known for that happening. You just take them out, you can get them rebuilt, or you can get a new cluster. It's not a big deal. It went out, maybe 8-10 miles, boom, came right back. And I figured it probably would have come back if I had recycled the key. Steering was great. Steering was on point. Thing drove like a champ. No oil usage, no tire wear, no leaking anything. The window, I figure the motor, the gear is going out. It's got a little bit of flex in it. You can kind of feel it. But aside from that, you know, the chip in the window and just the crack in the lens there, the turn signal lens, that's just typical road wear. And you know what? Car did flawlessly. The bumper was most likely broken before I left. So, yeah, that's on me. But the car did well. So, what's next for this car? I think we're just going to clean it up, do a little more daily driving. I don't know if I'm going to do any more YouTubing with it or not. Probably when I do the doors, but we're not going to get any more deep on that. Like I said, I got to replace the doors on it, and I'm going to put in all this factory tinted glass, and you'll see these parts in another video that's coming up. Or in a video that I've already got the video done. I just haven't put it out yet. It'll be coming, or it's already out. I'm not sure at this point, and when this video comes out, you'll know as well as I do. But I've got factory tinted glass I want to put in, and you'd already know I suck at body work, but as soon as I get the doors straightened out and all that, I'm actually planning on doing all the rough stuff, getting it all sanded down and prepped, and then I'm going to take it to a shop, and I'm probably going to have it resprayed, just regular white. So, yeah, I mean, it's going to be a nice driver when we're done. I'm going to do all the jams, but as for the outside, no, I'm not a painter. We've already proven that I'm not a painter. I'm not great at body work. I'm not even good at body work. I can get the rough stuff done, but it's an art, and I'm not an artist at this point. So, I hope you liked the video. The road trip was great. Had a lot of fun. So, the car did flawlessly. So, anyways, that's it. I appreciate it. Thanks for watching. And we will catch you next video.